in color. The continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Jack Chandler has gambled with his life before. Today, he has turned his stolen car in the direction of those who are pursuing him, driving back toward police who are crisscrossing the countryside trying to find him and arrest him on a charge of kidnapping Rachel and of possible complicity in the kidnapping of the Elliot Carson's baby son, Matthew. Thus far, his boldness has paid off. His wrong-way flight is working.
Sugar? Well, here's a man dying for a cup of coffee, I'll bet.
What can you scrape up fast that I can take with me?
Fried egg sandwich, maybe?
I said fast.
Well, it only takes a couple of minutes.
Something cold.
I could slice up some beef.
Good.
That's not much of a breakfast.
It's fine. Just shake it. Please.
Sure.
He ran out the back door.
But they know I'm going to take good care of you. Because, you know, it's just like you're my little brother and I'm your big sister. They even said so, didn't they? They love us both. And that's probably because they know how much we need each other. And you know, Matthew, that there are things that a big sister can do for a little brother that their parents can't do, special things. Yes, you know, it's not that they don't want to do them, but it's just they get too busy. And I'm not going to get too busy. No, but first we have to make everything all right, Matthew. Yes, we do. And that's why we're here. And that's why you have to be so quiet. So nobody will find us. Not yet. Not yet, no. And then when they see you, they're going to be so happy. They'll love us both even more. Yes, they will, Matthew. They'll love us both forever. And then there won't be any more fights and any more questions. There'll just be love. Yes, just love. Yes. Come on, yes.
Joe, where's the baby?
In your office. He's perfectly fine.
Is this where the baby was found?
Yes, Doctor.
Excuse me.
She heard the child crying. She called me, and I let myself in. I phoned you right away.
Thank you, Miss Simpson.
He's fine, Doctor. Dr. Fielding and I examined him thoroughly. Apparently, the girl took considerable pains to protect the child. I didn't call the Carsons. I thought you'd like to do that yourself.
Where is it? The note. What is this? I can't make up a writing here.
Chandler kept us prisoner. I made a deal with him I could bring the baby back safely if I go
Along.
with him where he wants me to. He didn't hurt the baby. Goodbye, and thank you for everything you did, Rachel.
It's incredible. What kind of a hold does this man have on a girl?
After I phoned you, I checked with all the night nurses. No one had seen anything. Of course, Rachel knows the hospital very well. After all, she lived here. And I must say, I thought at the time there was something very strange about her. If you remember.
Yes, I remember, Miss Joe. I think you'd better return to the wards now.
Very well, Doctor. Would you like me to send someone to stay with the baby?
No. Would you get me Elliot Carson's home, please?
Well, I'm just going to be the worst mother that ever lived.
Sound pretty determined about that.
Oh, I am. I'm going to hug Matthew till he can't breathe.
Hovering type.
Exactly. I'm not going to let him out of my sight. I'm going to stand over him, keep him from bumping his head, from hitting anything hot, hitting his head on that coffee table. By the way, Elliot, we've got to fix that coffee table. The edges are sharp.
Oh, come on, honey. The edges on the coffee table?
I know. The hovering mother's very unpopular these
Well,
days.
I hope so.
But even if he turns into some kind of sissy, it's better than losing him. I don't want either one of us to go through this again.
I think he's here.
Mike! Matthew!
Matthew!
I checked him over thoroughly, and he's just fine.
Look at you, Pumpkin. You look just great. Just great. Oh, boy. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Well, I didn't do anything, really. He was in my office.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Let me hold you.
Look at
Listen, I got to get back to the hospital. About Rachel, we'll talk about that later. And if you hear anything from Chandler, let me know.
Oh, sure.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Wait, I'll see you at the door, Mike.
No, I can get out, all right.
Oh, sure. Oh, then thanks a lot, Mike.
Oh, Matthew, it was all right. Nothing happened. You just went for a little ride with Rachel. And it was lovely.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure, it was beautiful. You just floated around in the cloud like that. And your mother's going to tell you that story over and over and over again until finally you're going to begin to believe it.
Well, I don't want him to wake up screaming.
Well, he's got a couple of parents who's going to make him wake up screaming.
All right, then. How would you handle it?
Well, a little more bluntly, I think. Here, let me handle my bet. Come here, you little monkey. Boy, you gave us an awful scare, you know that? But you're gonna bump your head an awful lot of times, and you're gonna fall down just as many times, and you're gonna shed so many tears, and it's all gonna be all right, Matthew. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
Welcome home, Chandler.
Chandler? My name is Carter. I'm in the district attorney's office.
Mr. Carter?
A complaint has been filed alleging that you abducted and forcibly detained Rachel Wells.
I didn't abduct anybody.
Well, your arraignment will be set shortly.
But wait a minute. Don't I get some kind of protection? You don't just railroad a man like this and someone say so.
Sure, tell him all about it, Chandler. Tell him you're just a peaceful, law-abiding citizen. Just an innocent bystander who somehow always manages to get in the way of very young girls.
Elliot. Now, nobody's railroading you. You don't have to say a thing until you get a lawyer. And the court will see to it that you have one. All right.
Hold on. Rachel is still lost. You don't understand. She may be badly hurt. And this is the only man who knows where she might be.
I know you're very involved in this, Mr. Carson, but just because a man's been arrested doesn't mean it's open season. Now, he still has certain rights. Now, you know...
Rights? This man is a menace to everyone he comes into contact with. He has to be made to talk.
Elliot, leave it alone.
The arraignment will be set shortly. Officer? Mr. Carson? Oh, will you stop by the office before you leave, Steve?
Carter, even though you have Rachel's so-called note, what are the chances of keeping Chandler without Rachel here to testify against him?
It's hard to say.
And Mr. Carter shouldn't have to. I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, what was the matter with that?
Nothing per se, except that Carter's got a job to do, and he's doing it very well. And part of that job isn't speculation.
In other words, Elliot, let's see if we can keep the district attorney's office in our corner for a change. You're not a great favorite with him, you know.
Listen, I got the call. Did they bring him in?
Just now.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he didn't say anything. He doesn't have to until he has a lawyer.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? You asked him about Rachel, didn't you? Where is she? What did he do with her?
Stephen said, didn't you? The law moves in mysterious fashion.
Oh. Well, I'm going to talk to him.
No, Mike, you won't.
Stephen, I don't think you understand. She made some kind of a pact with Chandler herself for Matthew. He may have already been with her somewhere, left her by the side of the road.
I wouldn't worry about that.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't think Chandler had anything to do with kidnapping Matthew.
What are you talking about? I read you the note.
I know, the note that Rachel wrote.
Well, what are you saying? That you did it for some personal reason? What in heaven's name?
I don't know. I know she called us on the phone and said that Chandler was with her, so I had the phone call traced. Now, the call was placed locally, but Chandler was picked up in another county.
Well, that doesn't prove anything.
Oh, come on, Mike. Face it. You said yourself that she was teetering emotionally. And then when you yelled at her yesterday...
Oh, so now I'm to blame. I'm the one that's at fault, huh?
I just think it's surprising that you were the one to give her the final push.
Elliot, what are you trying
Connie
to do?
and I wanted you to talk to her, but instead you lost your temper and began yelling accusations.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Look, I'm up to here with all that. Don't you understand? Chandler made her take Matthew. She had no choice.
Of course she had a choice. At least she did before you beat down all the confidence that Connie and I managed to build up in her. Connie and I wanted you to talk to her because we didn't trust ourselves. We didn't want her to feel as if we had any doubts about her.
Sure, because that wasn't true, was it? You did have doubts about her right from the start. The kind of doubts that wouldn't let her build up any confidence. Wouldn't let her stand up to Chandler once and for all. She felt she had to protect herself with all these deceptions.
You really believe that, Mike?
Yes, I believe it.
Well, why is it when you were the appointed spokesman, you blew it? Why didn't you hold your control? Why didn't you make her feel secure?
Well, maybe you expected a little too much.
Not really. Just that you be a little more objective.
Whoever said I was objective?